advantage of everything. Like, you know what I'm saying? We're gonna sit here and learn how to really do this, how to really be a rapper, like how to really, you know what I'm saying? We smoked our first Dutch with smoke this for real. Like we being real. Like I'm being like, honest. Like being around that made us become like way bigger artists because then you know how to move in your own skin. Yeah. And then you start knowing what's for you and what's not for you.
Talk about like that process like internally. Because I feel like that's something that, maybe like a lot of artists who are trying to come up, they maybe don't know like how to act around certain people or like, like you want to leave a good impression and you're nervous and maybe like you get put in the studio with somebody. I mean, we got to talk about your A$AP Rocky story later.
Yeah, I got to see it, of course.
That's like a crazy story, but like you get in the studio with someone that you really look up to and then, you want to impress them and you're playing them your beats and like how do you deal with that? I think it's easy to look at artists and think like, oh, this person was always super confident.
Yeah.
But like, is that the case, or like, do you go through like a transformation?
I'm the least confident out of her, honestly speaking. Like I was always, if anybody looked at the stats of Kirk Knight, man, like I always try to do some other different shit that people either A didn't like or A didn't understand, so they don't like it. And if they don't like it, it's fine. But it was like a lot of people like hated on me. I was on radio stations where like I was trying to rap and shit, and people was like, "Oh, nah, I'm not feeling it." So like, I wouldn't really have a lot of confidence. But what I realized is people are paying. Like, all right, this is the best way. Let me explain it like this. This is the best way I ever said this, right? If you're being somebody else, then who am I paying to see? So it's like, instead of thinking like, oh my gosh, I gotta do this and I have to be this and this at the third, the reason why you're in the room with that person that you look up to is because he wants to meet you just as much as you want to meet him. You just try to make it seem like this big thing because they have more experience than you, but at the end of the day, you gotta understand the music industry is a young man's game, so it's like their time is coming soon too. They need something to keep in touch with the youth. At the end of the day, like, I love A$AP Ferg to death. That's my big brother. But he looks at me in certain aspects on how to stay in tune with the streets. Like, he'll be like, oh, what's that? Da-da-da-da-da. Like, he'll show interest in something that he doesn't really have knowledge on. And then when I tell him, he's like, word. Like, you know what I'm saying? And it's vice versa. Like, I'm young as shit, so I'm not going to know everything in the world. Like, when he was talking about Turner for the watch, Turner, I'm probably not even saying it right. I didn't know what he was saying there. I was like, what is that? Like, I thought he was saying 20 G's for the watch. I don't know. I thought he swagged to some other different shit. I'm like, oh, it's a hit. I don't know nothing about
Just
that.
Making up words.
You feel me?
Yeah,
but nah, he was talking about the it's like this expensive jewelry spot that's like right on like 54th or some shit that be having like Marc Jacobs and shit. Yeah. And that's what I'm saying. Like, it's just certain things you don't know because you just didn't experience life. You feel me? Yeah. So like, don't ever look at it in a way where it's like you gotta be some other different type of next level being to impress them because they're already impressed. They just want to see you in real life. They just want to see if it's real. Like, that's literally majority of artists. Like. And think about it like this. We're in a time right now, I always talk about this shit. We're in a time right now where you literally can figure out who somebody is literally in a second. We have Google. We have so much search web browser things or whatever the fuck you want to call it that you can literally figure out and pinpoint somebody down to their location or places they chill. Like, you know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, it's not even about like sitting there and trying to make this person that you're not, you feel me? Because Dr. Dre, back then, he didn't even know Eminem was white till he met him. You feel me? Now you can know everything about an artist before you see him. So it's like they're already impressed. They're already in tune. They already heard your last single. They already know what you're talking about. They just want to see how you act in person, so they're not going to say nothing. They just gonna keep it cool. That's the only thing that I do say that be whack about that be whack about bigger artists. Like, they don't show or express that they love like new shit. Like, they be like, oh my God, I don't want to give them the clout, or I don't want to give them the this. It's not even about that. It's just is you like what you like. You get what I'm saying?